time of testing. Peter was one of the ones who Yeshua chose to see the transfiguration. Yeshua changed his outward appearance with reality of his inward appearance. Yeshua's divine nature was veiled by his outward appearance and then unveiled, allowing them to see his inward appearance, which was his Shekinah glory. A time of shaking. Peter asked Yeshua if they could make 3 tabernacles, one for each of the people that he saw. One for Yeshua, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Once again, this time out of fear, not fully understanding, Peter had put his foot in his mouth. Now a time of breaking. Before he could finish his sentence good, a bright cloud appeared over them, and a voice out of the cloud said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him." Elohim did not like the comment that Peter made. Instead of Yeshua correcting him, Elohim let him know what time it was. You don't lose focus of what you're really supposed to be paying attention to again, Peter. Your focus should have been on what Yeshua was showing you. Not about the people that appeared in front of him, but you're making it about everybody. It has never been about everybody. From the beginning of the book, he's always been involved. From the beginning of the book, it's always been speaking about him. He's been the focal point. And you keep missing it, Peter. Open your eyes, Peter, so you can understand what's really going on around you. Elohim himself chose to break him down, to let him know that his focus was on the wrong thing. When we are allowed to see or know things that seem impossible, we tend to take over. We tend to take our focus off of Yahuwah and place it on situations going on around us, when what was going on around you was only to allow you to connect more with him and to build your faith. You are not supposed to get lost along the way. This is the second time Peter was shown something impossible, and he took his eyes off of Yeshua and focused on the situation around him. We cannot be moved by what we see, only by what we believe. A time of teaching. Peter asked Yeshua a question. "Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we then have therefore?" Yeshua informed Peter that whoever leaves all and follows him in the regeneration, which means the new birth, when he sits on the throne of his glory, they too shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath forsaken house, or brethren, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or child, or land, for his name's sake, will receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So here it is. Yeshua is letting them know, if you give up all that stuff, don't worry about it. You'll get it back. They might not understand what's going on with you. They might feel like you don't deceive them. You don't left them behind. But you'll get it back, no matter what it is. If it's your brother, if it's your sister that don't did you like that, if it's your husband, your wife, your children, no matter what it is, once you make it over into the kingdom, you will get it all back. Not them all back, but a new creation, a new. Not worried about the whole thing that was going on behind you, because old things will be passed away. You won't even think about them no more. Their names and their situations, the things that happen with them will be erased from your mind. All you will be in paradise, happiness, and living an eternal life. where it is they are going through in torment because they chose a different path. A time of teaching. Peter tries to prove his loyalty to Yeshua by stating that if they send him to prison or kill him, he will go with him no matter what. Yeshua informed Peter that Satan desires to have him, that he may sift him as wheat. When the Lord shows a special interest in you, you are the main one the enemy is looking to take out by any means necessary. Because he can already see Elohim got big plans for you. He's not trying to let those plans come to pass. Jesus informed him that he prayed that his faith not fail, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Because during our time of testing, we can lose faith and not believe that Yahuwah is going to bring us out. This is what went on with Peter. Yeshua was letting Peter know that he was going to lose faith, but he was hoping and praying that he doesn't stay there. He even threw out even further to say, once you're converted, because you will be, lead your brothers and strengthen them. And there are some of us who lose faith for a little while, but we find strength in Elohim and get back into the race. But this time we have enough strength that now we can strengthen others. And this is exactly what Yeshua was telling Peter to do. Once you get strengthened, strengthen your brothers. Peter truly loved Yahuwah, but once again, he would try to change the outcome of his response. Jesus informed Peter that before the cock crowed twice, he will deny him 3 times. Peter didn't take that for what it was. He thought once again, Yeshua, you're just talking. Ain't no way that can happen. He was already speaking out his loyalty to him. That no matter where you go, Lord, I will go too. A time of testing. Yeshua took Peter and the 2 other disciples with him to the Garden of Gethsemane, which is located at the base of the Mount of Olives, to pray that they do not enter into temptation while he goes and pray up yonder. When Yeshua returned, he found them asleep and said to Peter, "What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour?" There are times when we are reading the word or praying when a deep sleep falls upon us suddenly. These are the times when temptation is knocking at your door. You must understand that the spirit is willing to be in the presence of Yahuwah through his word or prayer, but the flesh is weak. This means that you cannot read in a comfortable setting or pray in a comfortable setting, because sometimes you might not even feel tired and a sleep will come over you. The test seemed easy. The test was for them to watch and pray, but the test became hard when they couldn't shake the sleep bug. It will catch you no matter what you are doing. You could be driving, you could be reading, you could be watching TV, and sleep will just all of a sudden come over you. A time of teaching. When the chief priests and the Pharisees came to take Yeshua, Peter drew his sword and cut off the ear of the high priest's servant. Yeshua told him to put his sword away, because all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. This comes from an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Yeshua said, "Don't you know that if I pray to my Father, that he will save me? But how shall the scriptures be fulfilled?" What scriptures is Yeshua talking about? The scriptures of the prophets. Elohim had already shown the prophets what would happen to Yeshua. If they did anything to change that, that would make Elohim's word a lie. And Elohim had already said his word shall not return unto him void, but it's going to accomplish that which it was sent out to accomplish. A time of testing. After Yeshua was taken, Peter followed afar off to see what would happen to him. A woman saw Peter and accused him of being one of Yeshua's followers. But he denied, saying, I know not, neither do I understand what you are saying. And as he went out into the porch, the cock crew. As he was warming himself by the fire, some more people recognized him and said, Art not thou also one of his disciples? And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. The people who stood by the fire dropped the conversation, but only for a little while, because after they thought about it, they began to challenge his denial by saying, Surely thou art one of them, for thou art a Galilean, and thy speech agreeth thereto. Peter started to get mad, because some people think if they show you how angry they are, you will believe that they were telling the truth. The word says that he began to curse and swear, saying, I know not this man of whom ye speak. And as the cock crew the second time, Yahuwah turned and looked upon Peter. If only looks could kill. That felt like the look that he gave him. It's either that or he looked at him very pitifully. Like, you did exactly what I said you was going to do. Here comes the breaking. The word says that Peter remembered the word of Yahuwah. How he had said unto him, before the cock crowed, thou shalt deny me thrice, 3 times. How many of us can say when people are coming at us a certain way that we respond right all the time? Especially when they're telling us what they know versus what I'm telling them. After Peter remembered the words of Yeshua, he went out and wept bitterly.